Is my microphone on?
Yes.
Hi, welcome to Barvotti's 66th live screening of Tools for Creatives. I am Phoebe Bradbury, and today I will be demonstrating some of the tools that I use every day in my art studio. I wouldn't want to be without them, and I find new uses for them all the time. There will not be promotional offers during today because we put the wrong date on the promo. But their offers will return on Wednesday with the correct date, and you'll be able to take your choice, 25% off any of the products that we have. So right now, or right on Wednesday, the promotions are only available on amzn.to. Okay, we're not going to show the promo, so I'm just going to go straight here. Right, okay. So when something like that happens, we have a few little changes in our schedule. So we are going to be doing slightly different things today, a little bit different than usual. I don't know if is that in focus? Yeah, I think it is. Okay. This is the piece of artwork that you saw being made on the intro, and it was done with, is it this size? No, sorry, it just takes me a second sometimes to get going. It was done with this tool here. It's one of our shapers, and if we'll show the promo on the end because it does go through each of the tools, and I'll go through them as well today. But okay, so that's the tool we used on coming in. This is, oops, goodness, it's upside down. This one, by the way, is called Flamingo Land. And we don't have a picture of the flamingos today, I don't think, do we? No. Okay, we live in the Yucatan Peninsula, and we do have flamingos fly by my studio, or our house where we live on the beach in no, it's not Chicxulub, Telchac Puerto. We've been here this is our third year right now, so I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so you can see the edges of them. I forgot to take the end off my rubber gloves, so I can't turn the thing. I have to cut. Oh, there we go. Just tore them off. So I'm trying to adjust the thing on it. Okay. So yeah, so we live in Telchac Puerto, near the mangrove swamps, and several times during the year we see flamingos migrating, and we also see flamingos in the swamps if we happen to be going by the swamps. They're not on every road, but we do see them being flamingos on our way to some of the little towns along the coast here. So that was I wouldn't say that's what inspired this piece, but I will certainly say it's what inspired the naming of the piece, because as soon as I saw it, I thought, wow, those look like flamingos. So this is Flamingo Land. And now this second one here is one that we did actually. We've done 67 live shows, and before that I had never done any live shows. And so this particular piece, which encouraged me quite a lot, it's on Yupo paper, so was Flamingo Land, which is a archival paper. And I was using, I think it was on the third show that we did this. I'm not quite sure. Or was it the 3rd of November? So we started in late October, and this is the tool that we used here. So it's a little tool that I made from the tools that we actually market. So here it is. You can see the edge of it. I just took a little sharp knife, you know, what do you call them? X-Acto knife type of thing, and just took a few chunks out of the end of one of these because I wanted to make parallel lines. And so this is what I call my first, well, this is my first parallel line maker. And it is made from this little 1-inch shaper. And this, what I'm showing you here are tools that I use daily for the shows, so it's not quite as clean as the other ones. I'll show you later. Okay. So I'll put that back there. And I want to show you this one because it's a recent one that I really like. I haven't named it yet, but it's made by a very light, a light touch of a dark color on Yupo paper, and when it's still damp, I just took one of these tools, and I can't tell by looking at which one. I know for the squiggly lines at the back that were on the lower surface, that I use this tool because this is my current big parallel line maker. So it's made out of the 3-inch. Now, you might think because I'm talking about it, I use it a lot. I use it very rarely. Well, probably at every show I use it, but most of the work that I do would be done with this. So these marks here, these strokes and marks, could be made with just about any one of the modelers. And now I'm going to show you ours, because we didn't do a promo at the beginning. I'm going to do a quick show of what we actually do have, and I'm going to try to get into using them within like 3 or 4 minutes. So, and these are not pristine either, but this is our selection of the modelers, and the modelers they basically look like a modeler brush, except instead of a brush, on the end they have a nice piece of silicone on them, and so they're all square like this, and they look rather boring, and you might think they are boring, but they're actually pretty flexible and useful for lots of different things. So 3-inch, 2.5-inch, 2-inch, 1.5-inch, and 1-inch, and I will be using those today in some of the demos. So the other things we have are, we have sets of 5, and I've been showing these for a while, and occasionally I accidentally mix my show ones in with my the ones that I work with, so they all get grubby in the end. I'm just going to go in and show you them a little closer. Oops, zoom. Okay. So these are the 5 types of shapers that we have, and we have this in, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, these are there's 5 different ends, and we show this all on our website. So there's an angle chisel, a flat chisel, cup chisel, round cup, taper point, and on the website it says what you can do with each one of them. And I'll just give you a quick look at what they are. So let's see if I can do this, because I have to get it on the monitor. Okay, that one I'm twirling now, that's the cup chisel, very strong, can move lots of paint. This is the taper point. It's just sort of tapers to a point, and the point is the sharpest little end, because it's this is the one that tells you, like, this is a 10 millimeter, which is 1 centimeter across the end, and this is a flat chisel, the taper chisel, and this end here is not, because it's at an angle, it's larger than the 1 centimeter. So we determine the size of the set by the width of the flat chisel, which is this one here. So I'm just going to show you that. And then we have a round end, a curved end. Also great for moving big parts. I don't necessarily look at it and say, oh, I'm going to use this one. I try them as I'm going. So that's the 5 centimeter or 10 centimeter. These are, oops, goodness, I have only 4 of them, but the set comes with 5. So in this case, the one I'm missing is the size one, but it's 7 millimeters across, so not quite, about 3/4 of a centimeter. Extremely useful for all kinds of paintings. Then we have the 4 millimeter, quite a bit smaller, still quite strong. So, and all of the same tips. And then we have for very, very delicate work, not very strong, still works perfectly well for light bits of paint, for applying, what do you call it, that stuff, masking fluid. These are all great for applying masking fluid, because if you leave masking fluid on them, doesn't matter, it'll peel off as soon as it dries. And for these little delicate ones, if you, say you're doing the stamens of a flower or something and you wanted to mask certain parts of things, something that's very delicate, these are perfect for that. Of course, depending on the size of the painting that you have. So that's our tools in a nutshell, and you can see this online. So I'm going to start right now with a quick demo on what I call, better put this somewhere where it's not going to fall. Okay, quick demo on freezer paper, and I like to use freezer paper because it's shiny on one side with a very thin coating of plastic, and it's opaque because the other side is paper, and the shininess allows me to dribble paint around. Now I'm going to use a color here. I got to zoom out a little bit according to my Zoom commander. Yeah, you're the Zoom commander. Where am I? Oh, I don't know. There's my hand. Okay, I can tell if I've got, oh, there, I know I'm okay. I know where I am now. Okay, I'll put the little red mark there. There I can. Okay, so I don't usually use this color. Oh, yeah, this is, I do use it a lot, actually. That's ultramarine blue. I'm going to use a little bit of this. And this is just to introduce you to the different colors and some of the shapers and what they can do. I have no idea how it's going to end up with. And what I hope at this moment usually is, I hope I don't mix them all up because the mixture of these colors, let's see, we could guess and see, but we probably don't want to see the mixture of all of these colors. So we're just going to go scraping through these a bit at a time. So that one is anthraquinone red, and it's quinacridone red. Sorry, these are all professional artist colors. This one is semi-transparent. This is transparent. This is Indian yellow. This one is opaque. It's blue-green one. So, and the ultramarine blue apparently is semi-transparent. It depends on where you look, what they say about it. So let's just take one of these. Would you pass me that one there? I'm sorry. I'm just going to show you something that I did do with one of these before, so you have an idea where we're going. So that's one that's done on this kind of paper, and I decided to look at it today ahead of time because I didn't really want to just turn out with a black smudge. So this one uses a lot fewer colors, that uses slightly different colors, but it's a quick little sketch, probably nice enough to use Photoshop and transfer it to a regular piece of paper. It's not archival if it's on a butcher paper or freezer paper. But let's just get started here. I'm going to just pull some of this yellow And it's a good idea to wait a few seconds because it then leaves some of this paint underneath. So we're just going to see what it does. Ooh, okay. So that's not, oh, this is a new one. That's one of my parallel line makers, one of the better ones that I spent a bit of time. And when I say better, what I'm meaning there is that it's more even. I actually prefer the ones that are less even. And now I've got stuff on this, and I'm going to say, oh, how do I get that off if I want to use it again? I don't want to put those colors. Well, it's very simple. You just keep a pail of damp clean rags, and just wipe it off, and it's ready to go again. So I'm thinking now, like, oh, do I want to put red through? Okay, let's see. There. Color again. And these are not rules. This is just what I do. This is the sort of painting where you play and you make your own rules, and I'm looking for my 1 inch here. And so I've heard somewhere where you can make a different color, a very nice different color with this red if you add this yellow. Now I'm just clearing that off so that I'm not adding red into the yellow at this point, but let's just see. So that's more like a scarlet red, if you'll notice. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm just going to go in a little bit closer. So I've been talking about paint mixing lately. So if you don't have a full number of colors, if you know the right ones to get, you can then mix the ones you want. So this is a scarlet red. That's more like a purpley red. The Q red is that color. I'm going to take some of this blue here. Oops, I don't know whether I have any more of that fresh. Oh yeah, I do. So I was smart. Look what I did. I pushed that way through there. So I know this is pure red, and I'm taking it with a clean. I cleaned off my brush before. Now what am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to try and make a purple. We'll see. So with that combination of colors, using the Q red and the ultramarine blue, we get a very nice purple mauve color, which if you're looking at the dark color, you're seeing the mass tone, and if you squeeze down, you can see what some of the tones might be if they were lighter, or if you added, in this case, not white, but there is not titanium white, I should say, because titanium white added to dark colors makes pastels, whereas if you add zinc white, which is slightly different. So we're just playing with some of the marks here that you can make with this, see? So this is a little square here, or play across here. We can lay paint down. Woo. Yeah. And then we can make marks in the paint. Okay. So that's some of the things we can play with. So what we haven't played with here yet is this green, or yellow green. And I'm just going to take a bit of this, and we'll just see. Can we make a different color of green? Yes, we can. Okay. So you can make all of these colors just by, fooling around and sweeping in and out of this. And let's see, what color would we get? Oh, should we try this? Oh, that's a certain type of green made with the blue green, the opaque. Let's see what type of green we get with the yellow. We're just going to scrape it in this way. I'm not being quite so careful as I was earlier. But ooh, that's a very dark green. Now the reason...
You're almost out of frame.
Okay, I'm almost out of frame. Okay, let's get out. Let's go back. Okay, how's that? So this is sort of like a mossy green, or yeah, that's the kind of green it is. So that color of green and that color of green. So you can see if you were painting trees and you were mixing your own colors, you could do a lot of different things. So instead of doing a little, trying to do something here that was, a little composition, I fooled around with mixing paints. So let's just see if we can rescue it. We might not be able to. Let's take one of these big ones here and go across like this. This is a 2.5 inch flat brush, And when we go across like that, you can see we're pulling through all of the pretty underneath. You can see what's left underneath. It's quite interesting. So you see these lines of the yellow that had gone across. So is this a composition? I don't know. Let's see. Let's put some, so here's some marks you can make. Who would have thought you could make those kind of nice marks with this? So this is just drawing slowly across the whole thing. And of course, if you want to start in the other direction, you could. You could also just slowly pull this through here. Or you could do it very quickly if you want. There's nothing that says you have to be slow. So just playing. So what is this for? Am I trying to make something for sale? No. But what I'm trying to do is warm up for the day of painting. And I'm not saying that this is where I warm up now, because this is not the type of, well, it is. I think, well, it's not the kind of painting I'm doing right now, but because I'm doing these warm-ups every day, or these samples every day, I'm starting to think, I'd like to try that on a bigger, I would really like to try that on a bigger format. And I've just recently got a new, I got finally, I got a real, serious, professional easel made. And Previn's going to show you that. Can you show that picture of the easel? Okay, he's going to show you the easel. So I'm getting pretty excited about when we move to our new studio, I will be able to use that. And the one on the left shows the front with one of my, that's the usual size I usually paint. So painting small like this is sort of different for me. And the one on the right, so you'll notice that it's too tall to go under that board that's going across there. I'm going to have it adjusted so that I can just open it up and push it through like a wheelbarrow. Of course, not when it's got a painting on it, but. And this is another view of my studio, my new studio. And you can see the back of the easel. And if you look carefully, you can see sort of a round thing sticking there. It's a set of weights. I think, how many pounds of weight have we got here? 15 pounds. There are three 5-pound weights on this rig here with pulleys and stuff. And what that allows me to do is to just touch the, or grab the bottom of the painting and just slowly move it up. Say I wanted to be painting at the bottom. I'm kind of short, so I could move it up a little bit. And if I want to paint at the top, I could push it down, and it will just stay. I don't have to go around and twist wheels or anything like that. And it's, what's it called? It's called a weight something easel. And they're very, counterweight easel. Thank you. Thank you. It's a counterweight easel. So the weight is supposed to counter the weight of my board, and that means I can just with hardly the touch of a finger, well, I have to grab it and push it up. It'll go up and it'll stay at that point. It'll go down and stay at that point. So I've never had an easel like this. I've always had, I don't think I've ever had an easel on wheels either. But anyway, this easel is a professional one, and I haven't used it yet. I'm just so excited about it. Got it this weekend, and I put one of the supports that I normally use. That's what that whiteboard is. It's a support. It's been sitting, waiting to be painted on now for about 3 years. So I'm very happy about that. So where was I going there? I don't know. Oh, I usually paint large, but not always, obviously. And I do little practice things like this. I had a very good teacher where I went to university, or where I went to art school. I'm looking for a specific wedge thing. Well, I'll use this one. I would just want to go down here and pull some of these down on. Are we back on the picture? Yeah. I'm pulling this down, and I want it to be a little lighter. But I'm actually looking for one that. So I could pull it through. And I could put, I like that bit of turquoise there. Now if I wanted to, I could add more to the composition. I'm just looking for one here that this might do it. Here we go. That's the size I want. And I probably want it here too. I tend to like things that where you know, where I can make a decisive movement or something like that and make it quickly and change something, but that's not always what these little paintings are about. So I think I'm through here. I'm not going to, I don't think of, okay, I'm going to fix this. Not fix, but I'm going to do something with it. Let's put it that way. Oops, that's too big. I'm looking for one that's about an 1.5 inches wide. There. Ooh. There we go. And I'm going to go across here just to show you what's underneath and what you can expose. So is this a composition? I wouldn't call it that, but if it dries, it might be very interesting. What happens is that I often don't like what I've made right after I've made it, but if I wait and look at it the next day, then I do like it. So anyway, that's all I'm saying. Oh, I don't like this yellow corner here, so I'm going to just, oh, that looks better. Just put something there. Maybe some of this wonderful green. Okay. Okay. Let's stop now. So I've got this set up so I can stop now. Oh, goodness, I used a lot of time. Yeah, but this is my first one, so I put it on top of that one. Okay. And so that was a far cry. This is what I was attempting to do. But then I got into mixing paint. So I'll try and do that now, and then I'm going to go on to how you might go about painting a favorite pet, and the different stages of that and how I got involved in that, because I've never really painted a pet before, but I've now realized that I like my animals that I've had and will have in the future, and there's a way of doing it, and a lot of people are interested in that kind of thing. In fact, for some people, that's how they get involved in art, because they don't really feel they can make a copy of, you know, a favorite friend, but painting a pet, that's a little bit different, and it's really not that hard. But right now, I'm going to do a quick one of those ones that I saw. Let's see, is it okay? Am I in the center? A little bit of that. And is this Payne's Gray? I like this color, Payne's Gray. It's actually an indigo color. It's very dark, but it's a good one to use instead of black on your paintings. I always use it. Okay, so I'm just going to go, and I'm not going to. This time, I'm not going to talk and blather about things. See if it's any better. It might not be. Ooh. So if I just have that color on there and just touch it lightly, it makes a very bright yellow. And that's because that's an effect of the Indian yellow, which has a very different mass tone. Oh, here I go, I'm talking, stop talking. It has a much darker mass tone than it does when you straight through. Sorry about that. Okay. So I'm using a lot of the same colors as I did last time. Now I'm going like that, like that, like that. And I'm going to just So just playing again and switching how the brush, I don't know what color's on that brush when I'm doing some of these things. So, and I think I might just go like that. I have a lot of grids in my paintings. As an abstract painter, that's one of my favorite themes. So especially when I'm relaxed, you will find that I have grids. Okay, no, I didn't need that one there. Okay, let's see. What am I going to have to do? See, now I'm starting to think about balancing and things like that, and that's not always the best thing to do. I'm going to leave that there. I could make it a lot worse if I continued, and I think it's acceptable. Acceptable. Where am I going to put my acceptable paintings? And now I'm going to show you something a little different. And this is about, this is something I did a long time ago with on wax paper. It's not a composition, it's not a painting. What it is I was playing with a very dark color with these tools, and as I was doing it, I thought, wow, that looks like dog hair. That looks like my dog's hair. My dog, the dog that I had at the time, she was a blue heeler, and it's got that blue-gray tones that you see in a blue heeler. So I wonder, I don't paint dogs, so I thought, well, how can I, what can I do with this? So today, I've got a picture of the dog. That's a picture of the dog on our patio. Not a very good, if you look at it, it's the printer was putting lines in it and stuff like that. But it was sufficiently good for me to use for what I wanted. It's a little dark there, so I'm going to push a button here. Whoops. Oh, there's a bigger picture of her. So I've gone in, that's a distant picture, and you can see the palm trees and stuff like that over in the next yard. And so I took this picture. It was the same picture, but I use computers for everything I can possibly do. And so if, I'm not saying I can't draw the dog, I probably can, but I can actually copy it and trace it pretty fast and then use the tools to bring the dog, turn her into a painted dog. And so I did do that once. And it was very quick. I didn't prepare ahead of time very much. And I did, that's Iris. Probably a 10-minute sketch on this. I'm just going to take it out a little bit. Can I take it out? Oh yeah. So it's on a piece of letter paper, 10 by 6. 11 by 8.5, I guess. No, is that what it is? 11 by 8.5. So that's her. And what I did is I traced her, got at least the eyeballs and the nose and the ears in the right place, right? And I thought, that's pretty good. And then I did another larger painting. I don't know whether, can we look at, I don't know. I'll go show it over there, which I'm still not very happy with. But, oh dear. Can I take it out? I'm just trying to get it off an easel here. Okay. Oops, there. And that took about 20 minutes, half an hour of one of the shows. And today I'm going to do another attempt. And it might be something that people might be interested in doing. I think it's fairly easy, but I've never actually painted on black before. So I'm going to try and, I had a black surface ready. So where am I? This is my black surface, and you can't see it, but maybe I can show it to you if I'm a little bit better. There actually is a drawing on there of Iris, only it's in very, very, it was scraped through in paint. So I'm going to show you, where's that other picture of Iris? Iris, where did I put it? Oh, this one, here it is. So you'll notice here, it's exactly the same size. So I have drawn Iris on here in white. Not white paint. What I did is I took this nice picture and I covered the back with crayon. And you could also use well, actually what I did use was an oil stick, but white crayon or a yellow crayon would work just as well. Just covered the whole thing with it, and then I turned it over, and I drew really hard lines with an ink pen, the ballpoint pen. So that gave me this picture of Iris on here. You just can barely see. I will make her appear in a second, and I'm not going to use a paintbrush. I'm going to use these things because I can't make these wonderful dog lines or brush lines with a paintbrush, whereas I can with these. So I'm going to be, to a certain extent, this is experiment. And I guess I need some water. Good thing I have lots of half-empty water bottles around here. Okay. So right now my palette, I didn't have a chance to get it all ready, but getting a palette ready. So I have some titanium white. I have some, it's absolutely opaque. And then I have this other titanium, which is a beige color, and it's titanium natural. So that's what titanium looks like before it's bleached. And I have some, oh, I forget what the color is. That's a brown. That's also a
burnt umber.
Burnt umber, I think Preben said. Yeah, it probably is burnt umber. And it's also opaque because that's not a modern color. So I'm going to put a couple of modern colors on here to give me to help give things a lift. So that's my yellow, my Indian yellow. I don't seem to be able to paint without Indian yellow, so I might as well put it on first. And where did I put my, I had some Payne's Gray. What did I do with it? Okay, doesn't matter. Oh, it's right in front of me, So that's a dark color, but I mean, I'm not going to use much of that because look at the whole painting right now at this point is black. And I'm going to try and do it so that you can see me mixing, though that might be a little bit hard with the space that we've got here. Let's see if I can pull this out a bit. Oops, let's go right out. Let's bring this down. So just, and I haven't actually, I might have to do it with a brush just to get the outlines down so you can see it, so I can get started. But we'll see. So I've got this very fine, light stuff here. Let's see. So the ears go off like this. Can you see that? Is that showing? Okay, let's see. Where's my picture? There's my picture. There's that white fluffy stuff at the top of her head. Let's get it a little bit lighter, maybe. Okay. And her other ear in there. Her side of her face, down there, down there. There's her little black nose. We're not going to bother lightening that up very much. And there's a black here for her chin. And so we are doing an experiment. It may not work. I should qualify that a little bit. And I have never really used these tiny a brush before. And so there's her hair. This is, oh, definitely I can go around her eye. She's got these big eyebrows, so they are light, but her eyes itself and around them is very dark. And she looks, she often looked like she had a little, like she was a Lone Ranger. She has a little black area around her eyes. So let's see, this is dark in here. This is light out here. So now you can start to see how you can get these sort of hair-like marks here. And where, oh yeah, and then the black, that's her little black bandana on there right now, and it comes down her nose like that, and it goes up to there. So I'll just keep putting that on. And see, I'll have to make more color out of this later, and more white. She has quite a bit of white ruff here. So this is, so it's very, and this is what I'm looking at, and that's where I'm mixing. I hope this is working out for you if you're watching. She has this, there's her nose. Oh yeah, she has this white, oh, it's a white beard, not a titanium beard, it's a white beard. Okay, there's your beard, Iris. And this is sort of titanium around here. So, and it's got a little bit of yellow in it. So I'm going to start adding some colors into these. So it sort of looks a bit yellow around there. And a bit yellow down there. And there's just a very narrow area of, her ears are quite dark, but there are bits of yellow or light colors in here, and she's got some yellow stuff in there. So I'm using what I'm doing is I should have actually probably looked up like black velvet painting or something like that. But what you're doing when you're doing this type of thing is you're using the background for the shadows and for the dark spots. And so your job is really to, my job is really to go in and put in the highlights first. So that's what I'm working on here. And I'm using this little, I don't know which one of the ones it is I'm using, but I'm using one of the 3 centimeter ones. I could, if I was doing a big painting, 3 millimeter ones, I would probably be using a much bigger one. But this is a little tiny painting. It's on a little bit bigger than 8 by 8 inch thing. And the background behind her is going to, in the end, be, I'm going to put this, there is one little drop in here of white that's in her eye that shows that she's looking right at me, and I'm going to have to go over that very carefully and slowly, but I'm going to, she's got a big ruff down here. Oops, now that was not great because I don't necessarily want that much white paint at that area, and I just dropped it right off her eyeball. So I'm going to take it off. Okay, we'll just see how I get that off. So it's like I'm painting a black velvet painting, and I just dropped a big gob of white into one of the areas that I wanted to be most dark. So I'm just going to take the time and wipe it off with a wet rag. Okay, so. So I'm not showing you something here that I know how to do. I'm showing you something that I'm trying to learn how to do. And I'm doing it with a tool that I've never used before because these are the tools we're selling. And oh boy, I'm going to start making some brown stuff for over here. But would it be easier to do parts of this with a brush? Probably it would be. But it would be almost impossible to make these wonderful hairy marks with a brush. And that's kind of what I wanted to do here. So let's see, that's her, she's got little bits of black and brown in this. And this is, like there's rough along here. And it's quite a big painting. Well, I mean, it is and it isn't, but it's sort of like.
Paper
Pardon me? Oh, sorry. Thank you. It's a good thing I've got somebody watching what I'm doing and telling me what people are actually seeing, because okay. And like I say, I'm not sure which one I'm using here. Oh, there, I'll try using that one. At least I'll know what it's going to do. Oh, yeah, yeah. So that one I just switched to one which has a little bit easier, a little bit straighter edge. So there, color around there. Let's get some, there's some very dark stuff going on in here. Get some of that maybe. Dark brown, yeah. Big dark brown area there. So Iris, you're starting to appear. You're starting to appear. And like this is pretty white down here. What's now, she had a little collar thing on, and I don't really want to put that in, but she has a lovely little white chest here, and we're going to just keep going at it. I can fix this then. Okay, great. Get a pet. I'll get a. Tell me when it's coming back, so I won't be caught using a brush.